5:15 p.m. here in Nairobi, you're on Youth Cafe on KTN News. I have a question for you. For what reason would you participate in a demonstration or protest? For what reason would you participate in a demonstration or protest? And these are the options that we are giving on social media. A, it's my right. Of course, it's a right of freedom to express it. It's in the Constitution. B, politics. I'm a fanatic of politician X, Y, Z. They say we take it to the streets. I do so. To be heard, all right? A choice of expressing your thoughts. You feel like this is the only way that our voices will be heard, be it the teacher strike, be it the doctor strike, be it even the nurses strike. And C, I do not know, all right? So far, 661 of you have voted. It is my right is on that is currently taking the lead with 48%. We're going to be having this conversation of demonstration and their right to picketing. And with me here in studio, we have a great panel. Closer to me is Tommy Randall, who is a lawyer, not new to the show. Thank you so much for coming this evening.
Thank you.
And of course, close to Tommy, we have Sharon Chirambos, who is a political analyst. She's new to the show. Asante sana.
Thank you.
Asali on your end.
Ninakwambia kuna mwanaume amedunga hapa hivi African.
Hata hizo tu.
Nakwambia ni researcher, nakwambia sana. Karibu sana, umse anaitwa Monaja. Karibu sana.
Asante man.
Hii conversation I hope itaweza ku bring about insight kwa youth.
Right. Sharon, let me start with you.
Absolutely.
Do you think people know and understand the reason why they demonstrate? Do you feel like we understand that? Do we just do it because my politician told me to do so? Or genuinely, I want to express my thoughts?
I feel it's a combination of the three, really. I feel that there are people who do understand why they go ahead and protest. There are people who follow the masses, the Joneses factor, that is. And then there are people who just, you know, are aware of their rights. But unfortunately, it's a blurred line. Right. You know, you find yourself being in the mix of a protest, and you find yourself not being aware of the ideology behind it. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. For you, Munjal, you're a researcher as well as an historian. What are your thoughts?
Just like Sharon, I mean, you'll always find hangers-on, you'll always find people who are interested, and people who have a vested interest and are invested emotionally and have thought about seriously about what it means to be part of the protest, and in their hearts of hearts they feel that this is something that I can't be left out of, and this is something that I have to be part of. So,
well, Kennedy, who is watching from home, you said Martin Luther said riots and demonstrations are voices of the unheard. Tommy, what do you say in regards to that?
No, that's true. You know, people who feel disenfranchised, this is how they have to be heard. This is how they do it. They do it through protest. But now it goes a step further when people now become not protesters, they become demonstrators where they're breaking into shops and doing bad things that they shouldn't be doing. But like he said, man, people whose voices are not heard, this is how they have to be heard.
Mimi nazapenda kujua vile umebonga fiti, lakini nataka kujua constitutionally, are we allowed to demonstrate or picket?
Yes, you are. You are right. It is built into our constitution. It is something that we have worked very hard for. We've come through a lot of trouble to get to this point where we are. We have had this Moi regime that we passed before. God bless you, Moi. I like you so much. But there's certain things that you denied us that this new constitution gave us. And other countries in the world, they don't have this kind of constitution. You know, they don't have these rights. Look at people in Syria. Look at people in North Korea. Look at people in China. They do not have these opportunities that we do. So let's do it. Let's opportunities to riot and protest, but we do it in the right way, not in the sense that we're demolishing other people's businesses.
Monaja wewe ni msanii. Do you think kuna other ways za kufanya protest? Because tumeona South Africa wamekuwa na kama kina Winnie Mandela walikuwa hiyo time walikuwa na set concerts, akina nani hiyo anaitwaje Miriam Makeba walikuwa na set concerts, Lady Smith Black Mambazo in the South. They tried with music and they protested. Wewe unaonaje space ya wasanii imefiliwa ama bado wasanii hawaja create interest kwa some of the things that we are going through?
I mean, hata Fela Kuti West Africa yeah, feminine. So kuna venye msanii pia anafaa kuongelea zile vitu zenye zinaadhiri watu ambao wenye iko around. Juna wewe ni msanii na uko na mafans wako. Na uko na mafans wako, kuna venye pia unaona hii siasa kuna venye na affect. So lazima uongelee, useme enye hii ni mbaya, hii ni nzuri. Na kuna venye tunataka isamu ibadilike. Na haitasimama wetu kutoa ngoma moja, haisimami hapo. Lazima po uendelee. Usemenye, okay, saa hii ni ngoma yangu. Tunawezaje jiorganize kama vijana kama Sima fans, tufanye ABCD ndio tubadilishe maisha yetu, unajua?
Ningependa kusikia feedback yako on the same point, because we only give people songs wa Kenya pamoja after there is an incident. Why not as artists sit down, waandike songs sahi, unite people, waongeleshe watu, waambie story ya voting and stuff like that?
Okay, for me, as in the first thing that ningesema ni kwamba I think tume misunderstand this whole concept ya protest and demonstrations, because there's hata ukiangalia we are calling it picketing. Kuna venye unaweza kudistinguish picketing. There's positive picketing, then there's disruptive picketing. Wasanii wanaweza kusaidia the area positive picketing. You cannot just come up with a song and expect that the whole world will now follow suit. Nyimbo ndasikia. But you need that platform. You need to have people behind you. But you need to also organize the people who are behind you in a manner that which, tukisema tunaenda tower, I mean, like right now if you see what is going on, wasi wakiona my youth wakigang up hivi, you become afraid.
Ataka ni meeting.
Unajipata sahi, unaogopa. Kila mtu wako intimidated. Nikiona wasi wanakuja towards me, I start feeling I'm intimidated because sijui kama ni opportunists, ama kama ni demonstrators. Yeah.
Right, Monaj, do you guys think, but let me start with you, of course. Yeah. Do you think that this illusion that we have that protesters are just young people, but more so idle people, young idle people? Yeah. Is that a negative illusion? Is it the truth, or is it just a stereotype that we've put?
I think so. There's also the idea that even opposing power, right, is not that attractive to certain people. There was once a conversation I actually spoke to someone and I said, okay, so can we do a demonstration? She said, no, I'm Christian, I don't demonstrate. You know, there's the idea that for you to speak truth to power, or for you to organize a protest or to be in the streets, that is immoral. But that's not the case. I mean, because our constitution itself, we got it through a series of demonstrations. Our multi-party system, likewise. So we have to first address that it is not wrong for you to demand for your rights. And the money that you have already as a taxpayer, because we all pay tax, kuna wenye ununua mkate, kuna wenye ununua kiberiti na kuna kavieti hapa na pale, wajua. So we also have to think of the social contract of the leaders we put there and say, okay, fine, you're not executing your mandate well because my place, I have so many problems, you're my MP, and you're not representing me well in parliament. So I'm going to go to the streets and I'm going to say, okay, fine, pressure on you, you have to work.
Right, yeah. I love that point. Tommy, what are your thoughts? Do you think that it's just a stereotype that protesters are young, jobless people?
No, I don't agree with that notion, but I agree with the notion of people who are educated and understand the Constitution and they go and plead for their rights. But unfortunately, the older people, they look down on people who protest. They look at, it's just about the social things, you know, because they think it's all about business and making money. The individual rights are important, and these people who protest to get them, I appreciate that.
You feel like the older generation is not so in tune with that aspect of peaceful demonstrations, or?
Not in the sense of peaceful demonstration, in demonstration period, okay?
Just in demonstration.
Yes,
you feel like the older generation is nowhere to be found?
No, I think they think everything that should happen, it should be about how does it, how do you benefit from it, in the sense of like, is it business, is it money making for me, you know? So I look at them and I tell them, you failed us as an individual, because my generation, we have to protest because you didn't.
Itabidi tumeenda kwa street, hiyo point ni ngumu sana, tukirudi niko na
Oh, I fight with these people all the time about that story.
Of course, each and every week si udunda mtaani. Si udunda mtaani because tuko na reason moja. Tunataka kusikia pia wase mtaani wanasema nini kuhusu issues. So hii wiki nilidunda tao hapo hivyo nikacheki wase wakaongea juu ya issue yenye tunaongelelea hapa hivi sasa. Cheki story.
One should demonstrate if you have been denied your right or there is something that you're missing. I don't see there is any reason why a politician should come into and tell you to demonstrate just because he wants to have his political gain.
Kitu tunaweza sema maandamano ni haki ya mtu. Na maandamano si baya. Maandamano inaletea shida kulingana venye mtu ameambiwa na mwanasiasa. Lakini kama unaweza andamana kwa haki yako, ujue mimi naandamana juu ya sababu fulani, na wewe mwenyewe ufikirie uone yenyewe chenye naenda kuandamania ni kitu ya haki. Kama unaandamana juu ya mambo ya IBC, unafaa kuandamania pale ya IBC iko, ofisi ya IBC iko, anniversary tower. Lakini si kusuguko kuna Nairobi ukizuia watu wenye wanafanya kazi wafanya kazi yao.
No, I'll not demonstrate because the leaders want me to demonstrate because whatever he wants has not been met.
I will not demonstrate according to the political leader. But for real, the demonstration ni haki yetu. Lazima demonstrate. bado hakuna si vizuri polisi ikirusharusha tear gas kwa to lives, but the demonstration ni hali yako.
Alright, kila mtu ako na opinions zake hapo hivyo mtaani, na umecheki vile watu wanabonga, unasikia kuna maandamano, tunataka kujua maandamano ndio nini. Na tuko hapa hivi studio na hii panel, acha tuendelee kuuliza hizo maswali. Mimi nataka kuuliza swali moja. Is it that Kenyans realize that ukidemonstrate ndio unapata kile unataka? That's why tuko na lawyers, tuko na wase learned, we are the most learned generation by the Kenyan generation. Lakini hakuna mtu amedecide mazejo kuchora kitu akalisha wase chini watafute solutions.
I mean, kuna kuagana petitions pia. Wase waga wanaendaga kotiko wanafu naambia, by the way, kuna venye kitu haijaenda poa, wache ibadilishe. Waona? So si maandamano pekee. Na I think pia kuna kitu ni muhimu pia kujuani tofauti ya maneno fulani yenye tunatumia. Ka riot, demonstration. Hizo ni vitu mbili tofauti. Normally mtu atasema they were rioting and kile wanamaanisha they were demonstrating. Kuna venye nikwambia mimi ni researcher, kuna ka project fulani yenye nilifanya, nilikuwa naandika story ya hiyo wanaharakati ya wase wa kampo between 1970 to 1992. Na by the way, most of student activists wenye nasema now by the way ni amongst wenye walitetea si tupate multi-party system. Kuna wenye walinishow by the way we were demonstrating, but time Mapayo walikuwa na come, na by the way hatukuwa na noma, hatukuwa na tunatupa na time Mapayo walikuwa na come, ndio wasema nasema lazima tujiprotect. Mama yetu ndio hizo madimanga unajua. So inakuwa ni riot. So media na cover inasema the University of Nairobi students were rioting. Of course yet tunajaribu kusema ati wako innocent na nini. Siku hizi kuna story tofauti, unajua mandai zikipita hapo kuna venye zinanyeshewa na nini. Lakini tunafaa pia kuangalia hizo vitu in context. Na pia additionally kuna wase wenye wanaitagwa agent provocateurs. Wase wenye wanaekangwa hapo ndio kainika wase wote wa kampu ni rui. Azimse wenye meko hapo ndio atupe mawe. Ikainika wase wote wa kampu fanya hivyo. In real sense so unaweza kupata hata si wase wa kampu.
Ama either walishamaliza
ama si wase hiyo demo yoyote si wase wa kampu.
By the way, kwa wale watu wanatusikiza sasa hivi, mambanga, mapolisi, majenge, wazazi wao ni mapolisi. Usiseme mambanga wakasema so they were banging doors and stuff like that.
Thank you for the clarification. Yes, thank you. I appreciate that.
Tommy, you were nodding as he was talking.
No, I was agreeing with him in the sense that we look down on University of Nairobi students because of these things that happen that are negative. But most of them are good students who want to get the education and get things going. But now he mentioned these people who are from outsiders, who are brought inside the university, who try to cause commotions and give us a negative attitude towards our university. So we should find a way to get rid of them and let these people learn.
All right. So yesterday we saw what was supposed to be a peaceful march by Boniface Mwangi, one of the famous activists and well known here on the continent. But before the protest even began, it was already dismantled. There was already the throwing of tear gas that we saw. And one Isaac here on Twitter, you say governments should listen to citizens to avoid protests, doctors, lecturers, nurses, oppositions, teachers, and so forth. Sharon, do you believe that the government is serious when it comes to upholding the Constitution? Because yes, we've seen them coming out and saying, we have no problem with peaceful march and protest. But Boniface Mwangi was trying to do so yesterday, and look at the result. It didn't even kick off. As a political analyst, what are your thoughts?
So for me, for starters, you have to look at the context, right? We're not in a utopic government. We're a very young democracy. I always say that. You cannot expect any government to be 100% right in its way, in its, modus operandi. However, when it comes to demonstrations, I believe it is because of the environment that is created. Right now, we're in an environment, and I keep on saying there's intimidation on both sides. The government, our societal protectors, the police, the people who are demonstrating. So I find that because there's an environment of intimidation that is created, there's a distrust, there's a social distrust amongst all of us. We do not trust the government to uphold our constitutional rights, and the government does not trust us to hold peaceful protests. So it's a bit of a quagmire. We should be able to bypass that, and I feel like as a nation we're in a position to bypass such a situation in the sense that
we should have protectors when we're going to be demonstrating or protesting.
Right.
We should have protectors to ensure that we're able to relay our points. I mean, most of the democracies were born out of protests and demonstrations. Women got rights through demonstrations and protests. I mean, look at, you know, the civil activists in the US. They got it through standing up. And as you were talking about the petition, sometimes your voice is all you have. And there's a voice in unity. There's a voice in masses. That's why we have, you know, a stream of consciousness as a people. And I find that there should be a place, and it's a matter of addressing the intimidation that is currently there for us to be able to go to the street and say, hey, guess what? Today, I'm for my dress, my choice. Tomorrow I am, you know, I'm for women having equal rights. The next day I am talking about, you know, look at the 2/3 gender rule. That didn't come out because we were sitting behind and holding our hands.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my opinion.
Okay, we're going to come back to this conversation, and as always, we wanted to hear from you, so we also asked you to send in your feedback via our digital platform, WhatsApp. So here's what you had to say.
To actually demonstrate, but I can't just do that because someone has asked me to. So, kama sina worthy cause to do it, why should I?
I find demonstrations a little too uncivilized, especially in Kenya. They don't demonstrate in an organized manner, so no, I wouldn't demonstrate.
I wouldn't demonstrate kwa sababu nimeambiwa na politician fulani ni demonstrate. Cause nikienda kuteseka huko nje, kwake atakula mabaga, mimi hapo nimegongwa na tear gas, narudi home sijui nakula nini. So for me, I wouldn't. Yeah.
More than demonstrate, those guys are making their, you know, life better and better for their future family. For me, I couldn't believe them demonstrate. You only do.
These guys have their own places, and when there is violence during the demonstrations, they're at home, or they are working in their offices or in their businesses. So I wouldn't.
Personally, do so is in a demonstrate. Umsa kama do yake na matu yake wote wako majuu niko. So other times labda mtu zingine, but si political.
All right, so those are your thoughts. Kenneth, you say demonstrations have been extensive and some youth have been manipulated by some politicians for ill intentions. Tommy, your thoughts?
I think also we have to look at the other side of this. There's an economical aspect of this. Now, people don't want to go to Nairobi, people don't want to shop, and it's affecting the economy, which is important.
Yes.
Right? We do not live in a country like China where they say we're going to have a growth rate of 10% and this is how we're going to achieve it. We don't live in that nation. We live in a democratic society where people will say, you know, they'll give kitanda willies to make things happen and not to happen. But at the end of the day, people are suffering and they're hurting. We do like protests. It's good. It's our fundamental constitutional right. But we have to also look at the other side and who's suffering.
Monaja, as a researcher, do you feel like this current demonstrations or rather protests that we've been seeing will shift how we are going to go for election or how we will vote come the rerun presidential election, if it does happen in the first place?
I mean, certainly, because everyone is aware of what is happening. Everyone has their own interpretations of what's going on and what they're seeing the demonstrations, and they're saying, some of them are saying, okay, fine, we actually believe that NASA and its no reforms, no elections call is something that we believe in, and they'd say, okay, fine, I'm going to keep away. And as a result of their own mobilization and the consistent, demonstrations that we have seen from day to day, they have actually raised that consciousness amongst their followers and probably others, people to think that this is not going to be a credible election, I'm going to keep off. So I think it's going to have a huge effect on the election, in my opinion.
Niko na swali ya Sharon by the way. Kuna kitu umesema pia democracies zimekuwa formed through demonstrations, ndio? Na ningependa kujua, why do you think that easy demonstrations zinakuwa criminalized? Because each and every single time wanasema, hizo demonstration ni mbaya, these guys, each and every time mpaka kuwe na polisi. Okay, having the police si vibaya, but what do you think about that?
I think it goes back to the point that I raised earlier. Unajua kuna, ukiangalia hata picketing na demonstrations, kuna positive na kuna disruptive. Yeah? Sasa shida ni kwamba when you don't have a machinery that's in place, now also kukwe na watu wenye wanaambia, I think also that education ya kuambia wase, but then you can go and march in the streets and get your point heard. But that lack of education, alafu kuna a lot of opportunists wenye wako. Unapata magondi wako tu ndani ya hiyo crowd. Wako hapo, you find that there's a lot of opportunists who come and tag along in demonstrations. And that's what turns it violent. I mean, if you're going there and you're saying, yes, guess what? If you're not going to have reforms, you will not have an election. What business do you have destroying a hotel that was going to be open? So unapata hata mama mboga anaanza kuogopa, biashara zinaanza kufungika. People are not wanting to invest in the country. There's a lot of negative investor sentiment. But ukiangalia, if a demonstration, in my view, if a demonstration iko planned vizuri, umepata approval, your people are aware, and you say, by the way, this time round I'm going to hold protests with my group of people, na tutatembea vizuri, hatutapiga wasee, hatutakuwa na mamawe.
Randall, ningependa kujua kama solution, because kumekuwa na police brutality, but who is, as in yakina nani hao wanaweza fanya police wakuwe accountable for the things they are doing? Because in the recent past, ama tuseme tu like hata hii wiki imesemekana kuna a group of people wenye wamedunga kladi za polisi na si mapolisi.
Yeah.
Last time nikiwa isho nilikuambia kwamba ningependa kwamba parliament ifanye commission investigate maneno.
Lakini hizi commissions by the way cut short zimekuwa ni commissions za kuunda do. As in the money they are making from each and every commission imekuwa ni wasee ni mfuko. Msee akitoka hapo hivyo anakuwa millionaire, kama alikuwa millionaire anakuwa billionaire. Hizi commissions
I'm sorry, it doesn't make them any more money or more or less because they're part of the parliament and they're still earning their paycheck.
But wakianzisha commission au make sure that wako na avenues za kugain more money.
Your report yenye ikiisha, your report ndio nasaidia. Your report bora iimplementiwe. Unasikia? Na hiyo ndio shida tumekuwa nayo. Hizi report hazijaimplementiwa kutoka 2007 na hizo implements zengo Krieger, all these other reports, they've never been implemented.
So shida iko wapi? Judicial system ama ni politics?
I think political will, and us we're the ones who hold the politicals are accountable, and we need to hold them more accountable.
Bado ningetaka kujua, do you think there are people who are benefiting from these demonstrations?
Absolutely.
Like financially, like nimetoa tisho ka 3,000, nime make sure that
very small. More people are losing than the ones who are benefiting.
There's an English saying, it's an ill wind that blows any good. In any crisis, there's always someone who's going to benefit. That's a given. Like kuna mse mwenye nye ana chochote atadandia na pate yake na nini. But I think two things umebonga juu solutions. Kitu ya kwanza kuna hii samu inaitwa IPO. Hiyo ndio kitu inafaa kuwa accountable. Lakini tunafaa mazee pali yoga located ni Karen mtu wangu. As in imagine youth man toke Ngwaro hadi unajua as in unajua
lakini wafanya nini nimechapa makofi mara mingi sana na polisi nimeenda IPOA hajanisaidia
sasa hiyo ni story nyingine so lazima to hold hiyo IPO hiyo Independent Police Oversight Authority to account hiyo lazima tushinikize
nataka uniambie hizo stories appointments ndio kuna kuoga na vetting na hizo vitu zingine zote wakiunda hizi commissions wakiunda hizi hours wenye wanaweza kuwa kwa hizi committees wakimake sure that wanaanda wasi but do you think the appointments are still political?
In my view, I think there's always some level of politics. Yeah, when it comes to appointments, you can never say that an appointment is 100% apolitical. Kuna kuangana an influencer somewhere. And I mean, this is a real conversation. So you find that the influencers are there. And at the end of the day, for me, I keep saying, we're not living in utopia. We're in a country where we're still learning a lot. So kuna kujifunza kwamba by the way, mse akikuwa appointed, labda kuna deni, a political debt that is due elsewhere. So this person is feeling that they're obliged to pay that political debt, and that goes back to the opportunists.
Tommy, you're clapping.
No, I'm clapping because I agree with her. All I can say is this, put me on that panel, put me on that, I will make sure the job is done.
But everyone says that.
No, I'm not trying to pull a Miguna over here. Put me on that panel and I will make sure things get done.
Monaj, you've mentioned the Independent Police and Oversight Authority, which is important. It's there and its core mandate is to investigate killings as well as any beating that we see done by police. Do you have confidence in that body?
No.
I don't either.
I don't.
Sharon? I don't. I'm a victim of it. No. I'm a victim. I call them, they don't do anything. IPOA, wake up. Okay. Wake up.
So for me, I think we are also being biased because we don't like being stereotyped, right? So probably there's one good soul there, and then the rest are bad.
Yeah.
But I guess, you know, it's like a sack of potatoes. If one is rotten,
the whole bag.
Yes.
Monaj.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, but we really have to be careful when we are portioning bill. I also come from that school of thought that also the societies that we live in, we also have our own ills before even thinking of government. But we have to hold those in government to a higher moral standard. That one is an ultimate. We won't say ati sisi ndio shida yetu juu makarao natupiga. We shouldn't say. I think the higher moral standard ni gava juu wanapata taxes zetu. And actions za mtu mwenye yuko gava ziko na wider consequences, bigger consequences kuliko uraia mwenye yuko ndani ya gava. Ona. So lazima tuone haya, lazima tuelekeze na tuseme wewe unafaa kwa kielelezo hapo. So takushinikiza ukifanya ABCD na upotea njia, by the way, na sio tafadhali, hii ni haki yangu. Kuna venye tutakungatua.
But do you think sometimes the issue is not even our leaders, but us ourselves as citizens? We do not ask for what it is that our taxes pay for. And if for you as a politician to come and tell me that you built roads and you're taking confidence in that, that's your job to do so. But you know, they use that as a way of, I did you the favor, bringing electricity, water and building roads. But sometimes, is it not us as citizens who are the problem, not putting these politicians on the pedestal and asking them questions, Sharon?
For me, I find that we have to also look at the demographic. Kenya, as well as a lot of African countries, we have a massive youth bulge. You know, so many of us are unemployed, so many of us are seeking opportunities. And when you're told, okay, I'll give you 300 shillings, you will put that person on a pedestal, but not the pedestal of accountability. You'll put them in the sense that, by the way, I know if I need to do A, B, C, D, my politician will do that. Right. But at the same time, we have a very messed up mentality when it comes to our turn to eat. So you keep on feeling, they give you that aspiration that, guess what, next time when I do become MCA, I'll be able to increase my status. You know, I'll be able to get those status symbols. And because of that, there's very, very little in terms of moral integrity that should be there. So I find that the weakness is in us as well, because I keep on saying, if you were to appoint me to a certain position, would I be able to uphold that same moral standard that we are discussing right now? Or utajipata, mse amekama hapa akwambie, here is like 50M, 60M, can you look the other way? You see, those are the things, those are the ground truths that are, of things that are happening.
Of course, tutarudi kwa hii conversation in just a moment. Nakwambia, ni kumoto kama pasi na vitu zingine zote moto kama jua. Na kama unajua hii story vile yuko kila wiki si uko hapo hivyo Youth Cafe. Tuna make sure that kuna art corner, tunapatia wasanii opportunity ya kuweza kujiexpress. This week tumekutana na chali mmoja amecome up na style yake ya kuchora ama kupaint, anaitwa Victor Mutua. Cheki hii story.
My name is Victor Mutua. I'm a visual artist. I've been practicing this for the past 7 years to date. The style of art that I do is it's a figurative style of art, paraphrased in an abstract way of doing art. I've been inspired by other artists, so I've been training from the studio. Pale penye napata kuna wasanii wenzangu tunadu art. So ukicheki msee ametoa style yake, pia unaanza ku create your own style from that. Niko naangalia art ya Picasso about cubism, so I studied at cubism. Then nikachiki Picasso ilikuwa style yake, so there's no one another copy from him. So nikaona kama Picasso ali create style yake, I can also create mine, so that I can stand out in front of other artists. The business side of art iko poa, especially ka saa hii vile kuko na story ya politicians nini, iko down kiasi. But about business, iko very fair. In fact, there's a lot of job coming from art side. The portraits, we have the murals, the drama festivals wanafanya with art pieces done in the backdrops there. So art is very much enlarged. I've been displaying my art and currently in exhibitions, art exhibitions happening in Kenya, in the other ones outside the country. Yeah. I personally nimekuwa nikipitia challenges mob, lack of materials, yani bei ya marangi iko juu sana. I mean, at the moment you're buying a tube of paint for about 460. That is the affordable tube of art one can afford. Secondly, local exhibitions unakuwa na a lot of curators wanakuwa so strict. I mean, they can tell you this art is not good, this one is good. So we have a very good, big challenge to do. Sasa kuna a lot of wasi pia kuoga wana underrate wasi wanafkam sana. Napata sasa kama ni exhibition inachaguliwa wale wasi wenye wamekuwa long sana kwa history. Art is a passion and one has to follow his own passion. One may be talented in music, arts, you may be doing arts but in another field, maybe graphic design. So you should follow your own instinct about and also your own passion.
Nakwambia tuko na swali tumepost hapo hivyo, nataka kujua exactly vile unafeel kuhusu hii story. Tunauliza, for what reason would you participate in a demonstration? Wase kibao wanasema why would you even participate in the first place? Mesikia kuna mwingine anaitwa Roy Obwanga anasema I participate because I have a constitutional right to do so. Wacha tuendelee na hii conversation tusikie watu wanasemaje. Ningependa kujua of course nimekuwa nikiangalia history. Nimekuwa nikiangalia history na kuna wase kibao sana wamekuwa kama Martin Luther King, kuna opportunity walipatiwa wakamit na preso.
Yeah.
Sisi hawase wana demo, hawase wana demonstrate. Watuka kina Boniface Mwangi wenye ni human rights activists. Yeah. Unaonaje wanafaa wapati opportunity pia wakae na preso waambie vile kuko ama?
I mean story si lazima activist apatane na preso ndio wera ifanyike. Ama Kenya na shinikize ifuatiliwe, waona. Juu kwa pia kuna hiyo aspect ya PR. Ati tumeonekana na nini. Na hiyo story ya PR, hiyo story ya hiyo tuweke kando. Unajua juu kitu ya maana ni tunataka ABCD na sio tafadhali, waona. So si lazima wapatane na viongozi, but main intention ni kupaza hizo sauti zenye zinashinikizia kitu fulani, zenye zinajaribu kutilia manani, zinajaribu kuhighlight kitu fulani ili washughulike, wenye wako kwenye hizo maofisi washughulike. Kama ni mtu fulani ameshiriki kwenye ufisadi, kuna venye anafaa kujichuja.
Mimi ningependa kusema kitu. Kenya, you need to change your attitude on how you look at protesters. Protesters make your life better. Okay? Let's look at Boniface. Boniface complained about MPs trying to get their
salary increment.
Yes, he did the MPs thing, right? Even you, voters of that constituency, you did not see that he was important enough to elect. You opted to choose somebody who's 1 centimeter away, right? This is the attitude of Kenyans is flawed. Okay, we need to change how we see demonstration in this country. Yes.
Okay.
So sure. Bonnie, I like you very much, and I support you 100%.
I think the underlying issue is about implementation, really. I mean, for as long as you have a forum for implementation, then it'll work. The protests, the demonstrations, it will work. I believe that there can be a forum with the leaders. Wakwe hapo, waonge, si tu ma PR stunt. Having those conversations. So zingine, maybe my demands are higher than what the government can give me. So what do? I sit down, I have a forum, I've carried my placards, I've said, yeah, MPs and what have you not. But then I get this forum to sit down and tell them, by the way, these are our demands. And they say we can only meet X, Y, Z. We need to start having conversations, but not conversations that are just face value, but conversations that we follow on. Tunasema, by the way, what happened with the nurses strike? See kesho, another news item. We need to be able to find a platform to implement all those things that we are working so hard for, and that we are pretty much, some people are actually dying in the name of our ideologies, in the name of picketing, in the name of demonstrations.
All right. Do you think that some of the demonstrations, quickly, very lastly, are tribal driven?
Absolutely. Let's call a spade a spade.
Yeah.
Let's call a spade a spade. Yeah. We're not in a country where, I mean, you'll just walk into a place. We anafanana Kikuyu, anafanana Mluya, we anafanana Jaluo. We live in that era. So we need to now start tackling, what do we do about tribalism? Because I'll tell you something, when you go into the diaspora, you recognize a Kenyan as a Kenyan. Right. You just become happy, oh my God, when in Kenya, after when in East African. Sure. You know, but then when we come here, and that's the thing, let me tell you, you know, a lot of economies, a lot of, I mean, even if you look at colonization, it was based on divide and rule. The more you divide people, the more you're able to rule them. Wow. So if you're able to unite our people, you unite, I would advocate
cross-cultural marriages. I would say let's have Kenyan children.
Thank you so much. I love that point. It's going to be our closing point because of time. But I love that point. Thank you very much, calling us spade what it is. Very quickly, there's one junior that you say as we're reading your feedback. Instead of I do not know, in terms of the questions that we had asked tonight, the options, instead of I do not know, none of the above was better, I only demonstrate for something that directly benefits me. Asli, do you have one tweet?
Kiunga Isaac anasema the government should listen to citizens to avoid protests. Doctors, lecturers, nurses, opposition, teachers. Mazejo imekuwa ni protest all over the place. So hebu acha tujue exactly nini.
Okay, so Vicky, you say if I believe in the reason behind the demonstration and if I'm convinced that the people concerned ain't listening, that's the point that you take to the demonstration. Thank you so much for watching KTN News. You've been watching Youth Cafe this evening. My name is Zinze Kibiku. Do have yourselves a lovely weekend.
And of course, Brian Aseli, viatu zangu ni Boots Fanatics. Kama unataka kuziget Fanatic Boots, IG, Facebook. And of course, change haianzangi Friday peke yake, change ni kila siku. Tuchikiane next week. Ama namna gani bwana?